お休み前に英語で国内ニュースの時間です。今日の話題を英語でどうぞ。
A 37-year-old father has been arrested in Kyoto. He is suspected of disposing of the body of an 11-year-old boy found in a forest in Nantan City. During investigation, the father reportedly confessed to the murder of the boy. Police are continuing their investigation into people who entered the area where the body was discovered.
Tokyo Electric Power Company announced that Unit 6 of the Kashiwazaki-Kariwa nuclear power plant, located in Niigata Prefecture, began commercial operation on the 16th. This power will be supplied to the Tokyo metropolitan area and surrounding regions, marking a significant restart of the plant after a long period of downtime.
Due to supply disruptions from the Middle East, the U.S. is nearing becoming a net oil exporter, a first since World War II. Last week, U.S. crude oil net imports dropped significantly. Meanwhile, U.S. crude oil exports reached a high level, showing increased demand from buyers in Asia and Europe who are seeking alternative oil supplies.
Data shows a second supertanker, targeted by U.S. sanctions, passed through the Strait of Hormuz and entered the Persian Gulf despite the blockade. While U.S. forces claim no vessel broke the blockade, Iranian media reported a sanctioned Iranian supertanker also crossed the strait. Additionally, a large empty tanker was tracked entering the Persian Gulf.
The president of the Central Bank of Malta stated that while the Eurozone economy might face a headwind scenario, policymakers must remain patient. He warned against rushing interest rate changes just to curb inflation. The committee needs time to observe the data before making any quick decisions.
Despite the long Golden Week holiday, consumers are not increasing their spending. Instead, due to ongoing high prices, spending behavior is focusing on preparing for the future. Surveys show that overall spending for the holiday decreased compared to last year, signaling a shift towards saving.
Taro Aso, deputy president of the Liberal Democratic Party, emphasized that securing the number of imperial family members is a critical issue. He urged that revising the Imperial House law must be achieved during the current Diet session. The discussion highlights that this revision is seen as a vital and urgent matter for the family's continuity.
Authorities arrested 13 Japanese men suspected of involvement in a fake police scam. These men were transferred from Indonesia, marking the first time such arrests were made at a scam base in the country. They allegedly operated from multiple residences, tricking a woman into giving them 8 million yen in cryptocurrency.
10 years have passed since the main earthquake of the Kumamoto earthquake, which caused 278 deaths. Kumamoto Prefecture and all local municipalities held a joint memorial service for the first time. The ceremony paid tribute to the victims and committed to passing on the memories and lessons learned from the disaster to future generations.
Pakistan, acting as a mediator, has become active in diplomatic efforts, including sending representatives to Iran. The focus is on the second face-to-face dialogue between the United States and Iran. Some U.S. media reports indicate that these discussions are expected to take place within the next few days.
次は社会のニュースです。
In a case concerning the abandonment of a child's body in Kyoto, the father, arrested for the charge, reportedly confessed to the killing. Authorities are investigating the exact cause and circumstances of death.
A small airplane identified as a Honda jet overran the runway at Narita Airport around 1 p.m. today while attempting to land. The aircraft landed near the lawn on the west side of runway A. There were 3 people aboard, and thankfully no injuries were reported. Due to this incident, Narita Airport has temporarily closed runway A.
10 years have passed since the major Kumamoto earthquake. Kumamoto Prefecture and all its municipalities held a joint memorial service for the first time since the disaster. The ceremony aims to mourn the victims and honor the memory. The event serves as a commitment to passing on the lessons learned from the devastating earthquake to future generations.
The closure of the Middle Eastern Straits is creating economic difficulties for modern society reliant on oil. Local industries, such as public bathhouses, are facing challenges because they use heavy oil for heating. The cost of this fuel has sharply increased, leading some establishments to temporarily suspend operations.
Tokyo Electric Power Company began commercial operation at Unit 6 of the Kashiwazaki Kariwa nuclear power plant in Niigata Prefecture on the 16th. This restart is a significant step, as the power generated by the plant will be supplied to the metropolitan area. The plant's return to full operation is a major development for the region's energy supply.
Japan and the European Union held their first private dialogue on defense industry cooperation in Brussels. The two sides plan to issue a joint statement to boost collaboration. They emphasized efforts to improve the interoperability of defense equipment and strengthen the global supply chain, responding to a challenging security environment.
Deputy President Taro Aso stated that securing the number of imperial family members is a critical issue for the nation. He stressed that revising the imperial house law is urgently needed and must be achieved during the current Diet session. He urged lawmakers to address this matter as a top political priority.
The first Constitutional Review Committee was held in the House of Councilors. During the session, various political parties presented their opinions, clearly revealing the differing stances of each group regarding constitutional revision. The event highlighted the complex political divisions on the nation's fundamental laws.
In a trial concerning bribery related to medical devices, the Tokyo District Court acquitted a former president of a manufacturer. He was accused of providing money to a doctor for the use of medical equipment. The court ruled that the charges of bribery could not be sustained against the former company president.
The Emperor and Empress are scheduled to visit Ehime Prefecture for 2 days, starting May 16th. The purpose of the visit is to attend the National Tree Planting Festival. The imperial couple will travel to the region via a special aircraft to participate in the national commemorative event.
次はビジネス関連のニュースです。
The Nikkei average closed at 59,518 yen, setting a new record high for the third straight day. This reading surpassed previous highs, exceeding the 58,850 yen level. Investor buying was strong, driven by expectations of peace talks between the U.S. and Iran. The Topix index also rose, and the market saw gains, continuing the upward trend.
Rising costs from the Middle East are causing price hikes on consumer goods. Toto is planning to restart new unit bath orders, which were previously halted. Curel announced a 10 to 15% price increase on polyester fiber, citing quality maintenance. Separately, Toso raised prices on paint raw materials, and Michelin increased tire prices by 3 to 5%.
Vice President Aso Taro stressed the importance of securing the number of imperial family members. He stated that revising the imperial house law is a critical issue that must be achieved during the current Diet session. Aso noted that over 4 years have passed since the government expert panel submitted its report, and opinions from various parties are now available.
The committee chairs of the LDP and the Constitutional Democratic Party met and reached an agreement. They plan to hold a concentrated session in the House of Councilors Budget Committee on April 27th. This meeting will request the attendance of Prime Minister Takeichi.
The G7 finance ministers met on the 15th to discuss global economic slowdown and the Iran situation. The U.S. Treasury Secretary's absence prevented a unified statement. Japan's officials attended the meeting. Discussions included concerns that Russia might receive funds for the Ukraine war, highlighting the difficulty of achieving a consensus among the 7 countries.
The government has compiled new numerical goals for over 30 products and technologies as part of its growth strategy development. Among these goals is aiming for the global sales share of autonomous vehicles to reach 26% by the 2030s.
TSMC announced its first quarter results, reporting a net profit of 572.5 billion Taiwan dollars. This marked a record high boosted by global demand for artificial intelligence semiconductors. The company predicts that second quarter revenue will also reach a record level. TSMC also emphasized that it has secured necessary materials for chip production.
China's gross domestic product for the first quarter grew by 5.0% year-on-year, showing an expansion of the previous growth rate. Although the start was strong, concerns about an economic slowdown are increasing. This is partly due to high oil prices caused by the Iran situation. Domestic consumption remains weak, and external demand is facing downward pressure.
The Tokyo District Public Prosecutor's Office plans to indict 7 oil sales corporations. They are accused of violating anti-monopoly laws by forming a price cartel. This cartel involved setting prices for diesel sold to transport and construction companies. However, the prosecutors are currently considering dropping charges against the individual employees involved.
Nissan is reportedly discussing a partnership with China's Chery Automobile. The discussion centers on increasing the utilization rate at the Sunderland factory in England. The factory currently operates at about 50% capacity. Nissan is also negotiating with other companies regarding the use of this site, so the agreement with Chery is not guaranteed.
では、スポーツニュースをお伝えします。
Shohei Ohtani pitched as a pitcher specialist for the Dodgers. He recorded a new Japanese-American record by throwing 32 2/3 innings with 0 earned runs. He surpassed the previous record held by Hisashi Iwakuma. Ohtani explained that his decision to pitch only was due to some pain in his shoulder. Shota Imanaga started for the Cubs and delivered a strong pitching performance against the Phillies. He recorded an impressive 11 strikeouts, tying the MLB record for most strikeouts in a single game. His excellent outing earned him the right to be considered for a first pitching win this season. The Japan Football Association announced that the meeting for the World Cup squad selection will take place on the 15th of next month. Coach Moriyasu stated that the final decision will be made after confirming the recovery condition of all injured players. This keeps fans updated on the national team's preparations.
Rory McIlroy won the Masters tournament, achieving a total of 12 under par. This victory marked his second consecutive major championship win, making him the 4th person in history to accomplish this feat. Hideki Matsuyama finished the tournament in 12th place.
A historic moment occurred in German soccer. Maria-Lise Eta, a 34-year-old former player, was appointed as the interim coach for Union Berlin. This marks a first for a woman coaching in one of Europe's 5 major soccer leagues, showing growing diversity in the sport.
Daiki Hashimoto, aiming for a 6th consecutive title, expressed his strong determination before the All Japan Gymnastics Championships. He stated that his goal was simply to start the competition with a focused and strong mindset. The championships are important for selecting representatives for the World Championship.
The Yakult Swallows are on a winning streak, reaching 10 wins overall. the team recently successfully navigated a difficult 6-game stretch. Their starting pitchers were highly effective, with several pitchers throwing 7 innings without recording any walks.
At the Fujifilm Studio Alice Women's Open, Yuo Chien won the tournament. AIY and Akari Sakuma finished tied for second place. EY showed a powerful charge on the final day, securing her second career tour title with a solid par on the last hole.
続いて、国際ニュースです。
Pakistan is actively engaging in diplomacy, facilitating talks between the U.S. and Iran. Meanwhile, global markets are reacting to the situation. Major financial indices saw gains, driven by expectations of progress in the U.S.-Iran discussions. Economically, China announced a 5.0% GDP growth rate for the first quarter, though future uncertainty remains high.
The United States is nearing a significant shift in its oil trade status. Due to supply disruptions from the Middle East, U.S. oil exports have surged to record levels. Analysts warn that this increase signals that the country is approaching its maximum export capacity. This trend is driven by high global demand from buyers in Asia and Europe.
China reported a 5.0% real GDP growth for the first quarter, an acceleration from previous periods. However, the economy faces growing uncertainty due to high oil prices and geopolitical tensions. While investment and exports are strong, domestic consumption is slow, and policymakers are lowering annual growth targets.
The UK announced that it will supply Ukraine with over 120,000 drones. This massive aid package includes long-range attack, reconnaissance, and support drones. Officials stated that drones are now a critical element in determining the outcome of the war. The supply efforts will begin this month and continue until the end of the year.
Experts are analyzing the origins of conflict, particularly focusing on the U.S. actions in Iran. One professor noted that since the 1979 revolution, the Iranian leadership has lived under the belief of constant foreign interference. They view external actions as attempts by the U.S. to control or occupy the country.
Global economic and political news highlighted the efforts by Pakistan to mediate potential talks between the U.S. and Iran. Meanwhile, the Nikkei stock index reached a new record high. Separately, naphtha price surges are affecting daily necessities, and the international market is monitoring alternative energy sourcing.
Donald J. Trump stated that a meeting between Israeli and Lebanese leaders is scheduled for the 16th. He posted that this meeting will create a necessary breathing space between the two nations. However, Lebanese authorities have publicly stated that the government has no information regarding future contact with Israeli leadership.
The G7 leaders met to discuss global economic stability amid continuing turmoil related to the Iran situation. They shared a consensus that early de-escalation is crucial for the world economy. This sentiment contributed to positive market reactions, with major stock indices updating record highs on the expectation of diplomatic progress.
Thailand's economy is facing significant stress due to energy shocks from the Middle East conflict. Foreign investors have started selling Thai assets, revealing policy difficulties for the government. The nation's high reliance on Middle Eastern energy has caused sharp capital outflows from both the stock and bond markets.
A large aid initiative, the Global Smooth Flotilla, departed Barcelona, aiming to deliver supplies to Gaza. The fleet is expected to assemble more than 70 ships, with thousands of participants joining the mission. This effort follows previous attempts to deliver aid that were reportedly blocked by Israeli forces.
続いて、文化・芸能ニュースをお伝えします。
10 years after the Kumamoto earthquake, the focus is on the city's history. The iconic Kumamoto Castle suffered major damage in 2016. Using advanced technology, video data recorded since the disaster has been transformed into a 3D model. This project allows people to compare the castle's appearance during the earthquake with its state today.
Shochiku, the operating company, announced that the Osaka Shochikuza Theater will be demolished after closing in May. This venue, which first opened in 1923, was historically known as the gateway to Dotonbori. Although the company plans to continue cultural activities in the area, the decision was made to demolish the physical building structure.
All 5 major commercial BS stations have decided to withdraw from 4K broadcasting. This move comes after BS-TBS announced it will not renew its license in January 2027 due to low viewer adoption and financial losses. 4K content will now be streamed for free on WOWOW on demand starting this autumn.
The Spring Takayama Festival, a cherished tradition in the Hida region of Gifu Prefecture, has begun. The festival draws many visitors with its colorful floats and elaborate mechanical dolls. This annual event in Takayama has been celebrating the local culture and history for many years, bringing joy to the community.
The official account for the streaming program, Momokuro-chan, announced that the show will conclude on April 24th. The program, which has been a staple for the idol group Momoiro Clover Z, is ending after many years of broadcasting. Fans are reflecting on the group's long journey and the end of the popular show.
TV Asahi apologized for remarks made by Masami Tamagawa regarding Jared Kushner, the husband of U.S. President Trump's daughter. The network stated that the comments were misleading and could potentially be perceived as discriminatory. The apology addressed the need for clearer explanation and greater care in expression.
The magazine Koro Koro comic featured the final chapter of Doraemon on the 15th. Readers were surprised by the current high price of the magazine. Many former readers expressed nostalgia, noting that when they were children, the magazine cost significantly less than the current price.
In Higashimatsushima, Miyagi Prefecture, cherry saplings were planted 11 years ago by volunteers. These trees, including various cherry varieties, symbolize the region's enduring desire for reconstruction. They stand as a powerful reminder of hope and the community's commitment to rebuilding after the Great East Japan earthquake.
Talent, Suzanne is undertaking a new challenge, managing a traditional Japanese inn. This venture is seen as her way of giving back to her local community in Kumamoto. She aims to create a comforting place, symbolizing a place where people can always return to find support and warmth.
今日のニュースは以上です。最後までお付き合いいただき、ありがとうございました。おやすみなさい。